This is obviously key to any air crash investigation. What do we know?
Well, absolutely. This is key. This is one of the two so-called black boxes. Of course, they're bright orange, so they can easily be recognized. But one is, of course, the cockpit voice recorder, which has been found. The other one is the flight data recorder, which, by most accounts, has not been found yet. But again, because the crash happened at such a high velocity, by most accounts, most data that we've seen, a straight vertical nosedive into the ground with speeds exceeding 700 miles per hour, nearly the speed of sound at sea level, that makes, the wreckage quite obliterated, to be frank. And we're hearing as well that the cockpit voice recorder has external damage as well as some damage internally to the memory unit. So that box will go to Beijing and the analysis will begin. Meanwhile, extremely bad weather, heavy rain, muddy roads and the like in the mountainous region is hampering the rescue and recovery efforts as body parts have reportedly been found along with some parts of the aircraft. And that is just hampering the entire process. Now, secondly, we're also hearing through state media and China Eastern and aviation safety officials that they have vetted the three pilots who were in the cockpit. One was a 32-year-old. He was the captain, one of the youngest in the cockpit. He had 6,709 flight hours. The co-pilot was the senior pilot in the cockpit. He was one of the first pilots to be trained in China to be a commercial pilot. He's 59 years old. He had more than 31,000 flight hours, I should say. And the authorities are saying they had their current licenses, they had valid health certificates, they had solid experience, and they had very strong family, connections. So no issues there. Now it's just a matter of identifying from that, at least one of the black boxes, how this airplane crashed.
Speaking of family, the photos I've seen of family members, near the site with their umbrellas in the rain, getting as close as they can to their loved ones who are on that plane, Steve. But this black box is so important. Now, explain to us, what's the protocol for the analysis? Are Boeing and the U.S. officials going to actually take part in the investigation too?
Well, there is an international treaty which would allow the host or the nation that manufactured the aircraft, this case, of course, the United States, which would be the FAA and the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, and along with Boeing. And there's an international treaty called Annex 13, which we're hearing that China has enacted, allowing an NTSB representative as well as potentially an FAA and NTSB officials to go. So representatives from the three agencies, Boeing, NTSB, and FAA, would be allowed to come to China to aid in that investigation. However, since this crash did happen on Chinese soil, the Civil Aviation Administration of China and Chinese aviation regulators will be the lead role in that investigation.